continuing our preseason 11th region shows. We got Coach Page with my Great Crossings Warhawks. Coach, the Great Crossings Warhawks, fledgling program, brand new, you've been here since the beginning. Just kind of tell us about that as far as getting this going and how this journey has been.
Yeah, we split off from Scott County. This will be year 5. So first couple of years we had, mainly kids that played in Scott County for, a couple of years. And, our core now, we've had them since day one. Vince Dawson, Janias Burrell, our first year of our program, they played for, as an 8th grader, they played for our freshman team. So, so we kind of have guys now that have been with us for, since 2019. So we had some struggles first couple of years, as you pointed out, but, we've been able to get it to a good state now, but we're there because we have great players.
Okay,
so,
Coach. Now, you're returning the core of your team, basically.
We didn't lose anybody.
Exactly. So you're like the favorites. A lot of people have you penciled in as the favorites for the 11th region, which for the 11th region, Reno doesn't really mean anything.
Nothing.
Because it is the Wild West.
Yep.
So, Coach, just kind of tell us about this season and what to expect from the Warhawks.
Yeah, so, again, like you said, we've got a lot of people that have placed us pretty high in the preseason, and that's great. But we were placed pretty high last year in the preseason. So, at the end of the day, we played our best basketball last year in December and early January. We want to get to where we're, playing our basketball this year in March. And I think we're set up well to do that because we're a lot deeper this year. And I think that's going to be huge for us, that depth. Obviously, we've got, our top end, talent is phenomenal.
All right, Coach. Now, let's just kind of break down the roster and look at the roster and give us your thoughts on the players as you go.
Yeah. So obviously you got Malachi and you've got Trey. Trey was 16 points a game. He's our all-time leading scorer. 4 years, but he's our all-time leading scorer. He's going to probably end 2,500 points here. Malachi will be over 2,000. But Janias Burrell's has been our point guard the last couple of years. Janias will hit 1,000 first week or second week of the season. And then, Gage Richardson's a kid that I could see making the biggest jump on our team. He's so talented. Sometimes Gage holds himself back, if that makes sense. If he would just, play the way we know he's capable of playing, then I could see Gage making a huge jump. He's another kid that's on target to be over 1,000 by the time he's done, his career. 6'4", shooting guard. He can play the point for us. So he's a very versatile kid. And then, the other starter we bring back, who I think is going to have a huge year, very athletic kid, Jeremiah Gottfried, can do so much. He's the same way when Jeremiah buckles down and focuses and just plays, doesn't worry about anything, then man, he's really, really, really talented. And that's why I got college coaches calling me about Jeremiah. Because his athletic ability is off the charts. He's improved some things in his game in the offseason that's going to help us. But, we got to get him 8-10 rebounds a game, to help Malachi. And that's the focus on him. Let everything else come to you. Bring your big motor. Yeah. We talk about what do college coaches look for in you, and he knows it's that big motor. Bring that big motor. And then, Christian Martin, he was with Trey and Janias back in our very first program that won the 11th region when they were 9th graders. So they won the freshman 11th region. He was the 6th kid that played for us last year. And then T2 Cooper, a sophomore guard, a really good shooter. Jamari Mason, a junior guard. Those two are going to battle for minutes, this year. LJ, who I've mentioned.
We've seen him.
Yeah. He's a high flyer, talented kid. The last couple of weeks, the adjustments are starting to happen. The first few, he looks really good, and then we got to October 15th when he started playing everybody. I think it was just a shock for him a little bit as well. But he's really been coming on these last couple of weeks. I think even early, but by the end of the season, I think he can make a huge impact because he's so talented and does things that, like in our practices, he's the only one that says, "I want to guard Janias." So everybody else will do it if we tell him because Janias is so darn quick. But LJ wants to do it, so you can't teach the want to that he has. Hardest worker we got, always last kid out. of the gym. And then Brady Orm's an 6'6" eighth grader that has an opportunity. He's our future. We're going to find out early whether that future is going to be a little bit earlier. We had our Warhawk Madness and did a little blue-green scrimmage, and he actually scored the game-winning bucket on a post move. So he's potentially got an opportunity to get some minutes. And
now, how, as far as that goes, how, with him being so young, how is that helping him, competing at this level?
I mean, let's be honest. We have college coaches walking through this gym every single day. So we've got, a high D1 kid in Malachi. You got other D1 kids. His mindset has been, and we've told him, we don't expect you to be ultra successful every single day because of who you're competing against. Just compete, keep your head up, play hard, and it's going to come to you. But you can't find for an eighth grader, you can't find a better gym for him to, him to walk in and, have an opportunity to play. Okay. And then our last kid who will definitely be in our rotation is Jalen Warren. He was with us up until after a scrimmage last year. Him and his family decided to move him over to Scott County, and he actually never played over there. So he went to middle school with Janias and Trey and Jeremiah. He decided he wanted to come back and graduate with those kids. So it worked out well for us on the basketball program that he came back, and he's again, you can't. We only have 2 seniors this year, and Jeremiah and Jalen, so you can't, that senior leadership that he's going to bring, and he's hungry. He's hungry every single day. He comes in and he challenges, and he'll definitely be in our rotation, and hopefully do big things for us.
Yes, sir. Now, is it one thing? I love that big things, Coach. Now, is it kind of,
with Malachi and Trey and the likes, several kids there on that top end. But, we expect to be good. We got a tough schedule, but I don't think we're going to go in any game thinking we have no chance tonight. So we're going to feel confident about every game we play and let the chips fall where they may.
All right, Coach. Now, we know, every season is a new season.
Yeah.
But what can you take from last season to kind of build on as you go into this season?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So for us, I think the biggest thing is realizing that you have to every day, not just game day. Every day you got to bring it to get better. So sometimes I think the kids thought, it's almost like they could walk in and it's a light switch, they turn it on. And our lack of depth, I think, had a big thing to do with that because it was hard to really push them to where we needed to push them every day because they were going to log big minutes the next night. So, we average, Christian Martin, who was our sixth man, probably played 17, 18 minutes a game, and everybody else, was in 27, 28, 30 minutes a game. So we had to push them too much, and and I think they realized that. So we kind of got away from doing what we did earlier in the year because I think they got a little complacent as the season went on and thought, we can just turn the light on tonight, and it didn't work that way for us.
Okay, all right, Coach. Like you were talking about them playing a lot of minutes, and now you've got a lot of depth. Everybody's pretty much played this comeback.
Yeah.
Is that a goal for you this season to kind of, maybe implement more players and you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. We've got we brought everybody back, and then we've got 2 or 3 kids that have been working their butts off this off season who have an opportunity to be in the rotation as we go. Then we've got a couple of newcomers that same thing, really good freshmen in LJ Holman, have an 8th grader in Brady Orm, who's really good that are, Brady played for our freshman team last year as a 7th grader. So those 2 have an opportunity to be somewhere in the mix. I would say by the end of the year, we're probably going to be in that 8-9 kid range. But early, we'll probably be in double digits and then find out who that 8 to 9 kids are going to need to be. And I've told the kids we had last year, you're not going to play as many minutes as last year. But we need, 100%, 110, however you look at it, out of you guys every minute you do play. Because I'd rather have you really, really good for 24 minutes than good for 20 and average for 8. And I think that's kind of what we got, what we got last year where, where we'd have really good stretches within a game,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'd have a bunch of lulls within the game. And I think his tiredness and had a lot to do with it.
All right, Coach. Now, that's one thing we talked about with other coaches is when you have a lot of depth and you have 8 to 10 players, how do you go about finding your rotation?
Yeah. So early on, that's going to be the toughest part. That's what I like. We go to Trinity tomorrow night. We're playing Lyon County on Saturday, so we're going to find out early a little bit about our team. But I'm going to play probably. We have 13 kids on our varsity roster. Probably a high majority of those kids are going to play at least sometime. Those 2 scrimmages to kind of see where they're at. And then as we get into the season, it doesn't slow down. But as we get into the thick of it, it'll kind of be we'll figure it out from there. Who positions, and we've got guys that can play multiple spots. But we'll have in LJ, for an example, is probably one of our better defenders already in the program. So one night we may need we may need to slow down another guard or whatever, and he may have a bigger opportunity on that given night. But I'd love to get 8 kids playing at least double-digit minutes by the time we get to the postseason. I think that'll be good for our competition. It'll be good for the kids that are coming back because it's going to push them a little bit more, knowing that if I don't show up today in practice, if I don't show up tonight,
I may lose the spot.
T2 Cooper, LJ, Jamari Mason, Brady Orem, Christian Martin is going to take my spot. So competition hopefully will breed that success as we go during the course of the season.
Now, we all know the names, Malachi, you talked about, the top kids.
Yeah.
What are you expecting from them, or what is it that you can get from them to even raise their level more?
Yeah, well, Malachi has, as good as he was the last couple of years, he's dramatically improved, especially offensively. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him on the offensive end these first few games to see if it's, the steps I feel like he's taken are going to come to fruition. He made 1 3-pointer last year, and that was on a last second falling away out of bounds shot, a miracle shot. But we expect him to probably take 1 to 2 a game, make some threes. We spent all of the spring and all of the fall 2 days a week at 7 o'clock in the morning doing nothing but shooting. So we only shot 13 threes a game last year, so we're hoping to shoot a lot more. And Malachi will be part of that transition. But he's 7'1" now.
Yeah.
Be silly as a coach tonight.
Yeah.
He's going to be in the post.
Yeah.
He's going to play in the post some, and we want to play through our post because we've got him.
Yes.
We've got Jeremiah Gottfried. We got Vince. Who's you put the 3 of them together,
Yeah.
it's hard to match that for
That's
size wise.
level.
Yeah, exactly. So we want to play inside out first. But I expect Malachi this summer. When he got back from his trip to Italy, was our leading scorer for those last 7 or 8 games, and was probably our only consistent one. Trey was battling a little bruised knee, so he didn't have the best of summers because of that.
Yeah.
But he's healthy and back and playing well now. But I expect to get that out of Malachi, and then for Trey. He'll play a little point guard for us as well. This year, a little tandem, with Janias and then potentially LJ. Kind of sharing those minutes at the point guard, and Vince. He's going to score his 16, 18 points a game. What we've really tried to get him as a coaching staff to do is affect the game in more ways. So, he needs to be up at 6, 7 rebounds a game. He needs to, he defends really well on the ball, needs to extend that to off the ball defense. And he's very capable, and that's just been our challenge for him. Take his game to the next step, and I think his next step is doing more to affect the game other than just scoring. And we fully expect for him to take that challenge this year.
Coach, man, it sounds like things are loaded and you are ready to roll. So what's the one thing, if there was anything, that's kind of keeping you up, that you're kind of like, this is the one thing I think that could be our, Achilles heel or something?
Yeah, I mean, I'd go back to last year. We've really been working hard in the gym since October 15th. yesterday was one of our better days of defensive practice. So we are getting better each and every day, and our efforts better. But that's probably the big thing. Are we going to take what we've been doing on the practice floor and convert it over to the game? Because again, the state, as you talked about, has high expectations for us. We have probably higher expectations in this facility than what they have outside of it. I mean, we have one goal this year, and that's to be cutting down the nets in the 11th region and playing in Rupp Arena. And then once we get there, we'll let the chips fall where they may. But that's our only goal is to make that happen. But the big laying awake at night is figuring out obviously the rotation is going to be a big piece. What kids, where are we at? What can we get out of certain kids? What more can we get out of the kids that did some things last year? But are we going to instead of just talking about we're going to do this and that, can we now take that talk? And I'm not talking about necessarily me or my coaching staff. I'm talking about our kids. Will they take that talk of things are going to be different this year, and every possession they're going to play hard, and are they going to take that and put it out on the floor? That's probably we have so much darn talent that sometimes too, any of the kids think I can do this on my own. So can we meld together well enough and play through our big kids, because I think that's going to offensively especially, that's going to make the difference is we need to play faster and play through our big kids.
With them being juniors, most of them are heavy juniors. Is it important for you to stress to them, because some people be like, if y'all don't, we still got next year.
Yeah.
How do you get them to understand that?
But honestly, that's been what I've told them since we lost to Catholic last year. Is everybody used the excuse for you guys that you were young for the past couple of years, and it's put up or shut up time, because we're old. Realistically, they're juniors, but Trey took the COVID year, Janias took the COVID year, Christian took the COVID year. They should be seniors, and they graduate this year if they wanted to. So we're old. We've got 4 kids that started this. If we have the same starting lineup, Janias would be in year 4 of starting, Trey would be in year 4 of starting, Malachi year 3 of starting, Gage year 3 of starting, and Jeremiah year 2.5, so to speak. Started a little bit as a sophomore, but started all last season and this year. So we've got a lot of. I don't know that we of anywhere in the state has had more kids that started games. So while we still are young, and you can say you have next year in the future, it's put up or shut up time.
All right. Well, that was going to be my next question was, what's it going to take to get that goal at the end? What's it going to take for the Warhawks to be the 11th region champion?
Yeah, I think it's, again, it's just going to come from the mindset of, are they willing to do what we ask them to do each and every day that we play? And I think that we have let's be honest, Douglas brought about everybody back. Yeah. They're really, really good. Yeah. Catholic's really good. Yeah. Station's good. Yeah. Madison Southern. Yeah. We can keep going. We can keep going all day long. Yeah. It's the 11th region.
Exactly.
So, but we feel like that if we do what we should do, then it's going to take a very good effort by the other team to beat us. I'm not sitting here and saying if we play our best and everybody else plays their best, we're going to win, because we don't know that. Yeah. But we know if we bring it and we play fast offensively, we sit down and guard people and make it tough for people to score on us, then somebody's going to play their best game to beat us. And if they do, we'll slap them on the butt, tell them congratulations, and move on. But if we do those things, we feel confident that we can, be cutting down the nets, and we can be moving on to Lexington to Rupp Arena.
All right, Coach. We're looking forward to big things out of the Warhawks. Keep doing what you're doing, Coach, and thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, Coach.